you're going to win it, you got to be there at the end as the field works their way through turn number 3 and bunches up, gets double file. The Pro Late Models of the Spears Cars Tour West, the Mark Galloway Shootout, watches for the flag, and this race is green.
Into turn number 3. Stanford out to the lead, but the battle is for second spot. Keelin Harvick making a run to the outside.
Working that outside momentum. Gardner going to lose a little bit of time here. That number 3 now has Flybond to the outside.
And Gardner there in the number 3, trying to hold on to the third spot. He's going to likely slip back to 4th. That's Flybond with that run to the outside in the 55. He's moving forward. Flybond to second, Keelan Harvick in third.
And that'll move that number 3 back another spot. That's Gardner. Buddy Shepard hanging there in the 5th position. Your top 10 have gone single file. The field works its way down the front straightaway through turn number 1. Right now is where you have to commit. Am I saving my tires or am I working my way through the field? Let's stick to that. And we'll see. You know, a lot of these drivers are probably going to be content at the beginning here. Feel the car out, see where the handling is. You got a long way to go on a big track. 5/8 of a mile. But one driver who looks like he's gearing up to go is that number 55.
Flybond is on the move. He's wasting no time here. 4 laps into this 150-lap race. He's closing in on your leader, Stanford.
Trouble for the number 94, Brandon Brock, off the pace. He's going to pull his car into the infield. They've been struggling with that car, maybe some clutch issues, motor issues throughout the weekend, and unfortunately haven't been able to get it done so far here. They'll be the first car to pull it to the infield just 5 laps in.
Yeah, been a long weekend there for the 94 team. But so happy they were able to make the start, and who knows? This race is still a long way to go. He might make his way back out on the track if they can correct any issues. Single file around the track. I don't see any battles happening side by side, at least, except for the battle that is brewing for the lead into turn number 3 now.
And this can only last for so long. If you're someone in the second half of the field, you might right now be like, we're good, we have time. When that spotter starts telling you how close the leader's getting, you're going to start getting into panic mode. You're not going to use that patience.
Zooming by on that front straightaway shot, you can get a sense of the speed. I don't know if you really can get a sense of the speed unless you're sitting behind the wheel of one of these Pro Late models. This is a big, fast 5/8 of a mile. And Flybond still applying the pressure, slowly reeling in the number 19 of Stanford, who's led every lap of this race so far.
One battle that's been brewing, and it's actually going to go side by side out of turn number 2. That number 64 of Evans, just behind Gomes. That was Hale that he just got by in the number 15. He's going to go to the outside again here on Gomes.
Jan Evans maybe saying, you know what, Gomes? I get your strategy, but I don't want to play it. I want to get going. I don't want to lose any more time, as tire wear is what we're keeping an eye on. It's pivotal in this 150-lap race. You only get 2 tires to change, and that's your right side. You don't want to burn up all 4 corners.
Now, do you feel safe to say that 64 is willing to go right now? Buddy Shepard going to go wide, says, hey, take the spot. I'm saving my tires. You have to choose. Are you racing the racetrack, or are you racing your competition? And Evans, that 64, that family's got plenty of experience when it comes to this. Not a first-generation racer, that Jan Evans.
Garrett Evans, father of Jan Evans. And I just want to point this out, Jeffrey. You notice where that passing is happening? It's happening around our regulars, our SoCal drivers.
Yeah.
Those drivers don't know this track, and they want to make sure that they keep the tires on them, where the local racers are saying, hey, I get what you're doing. I got to go, though. This is a little bit too much for me.
You're playing the timid game. There you see Shepard, Gomes, and Hale talking about the regulars of the series. Another car off the pace down the front straightaway. That's the 98 of Greg Bennett. Bennett also will make his way into the infield, and the crew going to tend to that car.
Plybon is reeling back in.
Lurking.
Stanford. Lurking is a good way to put it. He's in the shadows.
And he might be willing right now to let, Stanford set the pace in that number 19. They are going to be catching lap traffic soon. We're talking maybe the next 6 to 8 laps. They might see some lap traffic. We'll see how good my estimating is here today.
That is true. So we should expect, if we stay green, Jeffrey, when would our competition caution be? 35 laps from the start.
Are you asking me to do math?
Yeah, I need you to do math. We're expecting it on lap 35.
We are expecting it. Now, if I subtract 35 from 150,
right?
I don't know.
It's going to be on lap 35 if we get a caution. So we are racing this one out for now.
115 to go is the number that that you're looking for, and I did not pull out my calculator just to make sure I was right. All right, I was way off on my estimate. They're lapping cars already. The 22 going to go a lap down. That's Mike Haslam. And the 021 of Todd Connell going to be the next car at risk of losing a lap as the leaders are starting to mow through the cars in the back half of the field.
Yeah, so here comes lap traffic on top of the battle for the lead, lurking. Plybon and Stanford are going to have to make some quick decisions here as they close in.
And I'm taking a look at lap times right now. Your leaders definitely putting down the fastest laps. I know that sounds crazy. There goes Plybon looking to the outside, trying to use Connell maybe. And that 021 that's getting lapped.
They tried, but Connell there not able to make it a two-groove battle for the lead yet. Plybon's going to tuck back in behind Stanford. Wait it out once they get by Connell.
And if you see, again, Connell is the second to last running car on track. As they continue to work through this lap traffic and catch faster cars, it's going to become more difficult to make these passes. Plybon peeking to the inside. But Stanford not taking the bait.
So we're starting to see even a bigger separation. So here's first, second, off in the distance, Connell. And then Keelin Harvick in the third spot with Gardner in the number 3. White Gardner right there. You see the 3 and the 62 as they try to get by Connell. That is third and fourth. And then another 2-car pod off in the shadows with 5th and 6th. And then a huge gap from Shepard back. We saw Jan Evans working his way forward. He's making a move to the outside of lap traffic. And we'll be closing in. If he keeps at the pace.
Right, and that's what I was kind of looking on. Gardner able to get by Connell there. Continue his pursuit with Keelan Harvick as those two are working on catching those top 2 cars. Another car off the pace. It's Haslam in that number 22 car. Remember, that car just recently went a lap down.
A little bit of bumping going into turn number 1, but everybody's good.
You watching that battle with the 70 and the 78?
Yes, as you're saying about Haslam.
Well, I'm just saying that that car has pulled it in to the infield. It looks like mechanical issues plaguing that car. Got a little more side-by-side action working their way down the front straightaway right now. And one of the cars it involves is that number 2B of Hans Bieler as we continue to watch this battle. The reason I bring up Bieler is that it's always fun. I feel like a lot of people know you don't poke the bear.
Right.
And Hans Bieler is the bear.
He is the bear you don't want to be poking.
But I don't know how many of the locals up here know or care.
Right. Keelan Harvick, one of our recent Pro Late Model race winners out at Kevin Harvick's current raceway. And this is going to be a different story for Keelan. He's got iRacing for Kevin Harvick's current raceway. He's got the strength of his dad to maybe learn from. But this is a track, Evergreen Speedway, not on iRacing, and definitely one of the biggest tracks that this young kid has ever raced at. Running a great third place so far.
Now they're working by some lap traffic. They're your leaders. Phipps in the number 5 just went a lap down and has actually since lost the first car 1 lap down to Beecher in the number 45. So that 5 might be struggling a bit here. There's a lot going on the front straightaway. Vito Kinsella had been working on trying to get by the 12 of Fitzpatrick. I don't know if they had contact, but I do know that it looks like that 12's struggling to get back up to speed.
Something going a little wonky there between Real and Fitzpatrick. They both lost some time on the front straightaway. Plybon's still lurking.
There you see Fitzpatrick in the number 12, the 14 trying to work to the inside. That's Colton Price. I think Fitzpatrick has an issue. That yellow number 12 is losing a lot of time here now. And again, we talk about that crucial lap 35. If you're going to have an issue, you want to at least see if you can make it there. He's got 9 laps before we would throw the yellow. And he's got a straightaway before the leaders are going to get to him. But a lot of people now trying to get around him, and it's causing stack-ups on the back straightaway. Is that number 12, Fitzpatrick. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he's just going backwards, and everybody trying to find a place to go as he's again stuck on the outside.
Yeah.
Still trying to keep an eye on that battle for first and for third, and they are all just kind of comfy together.
Yep, so there you see Fitzpatrick slipping back a little bit more. That's that yellow number 12. Now he's just got about a corner before the leaders are going to get to him. Ryan Phipps pulls his number 5 into the pits, and Fitzpatrick, you're going to see him get passed by the leaders here. He's completely off the pace now. So unfortunate for that number 12. Don't know what the issue is. The 021 also pulls it in, Todd Connell.
Connell's going to make his way back out on the track.
He saw Fitzpatrick pulling in, and he's like, my time to shine.
That's a spot. That's a potential spot. So your field rundown so far, scrolling atop your screen, Stanford Plybon with Keelin Harvick, Wyatt Gardner, and Jan Evans.
They're lapping by the number 7 to Robbie Sawyer. Sawyer felt really good about his race speed during the practice sessions, but as he put it, did not get it in qualifying. Had a big issue off of 2. The car wobbled, completely ruined his lap, and he was like, well, this stinks. Said that they should have been probably inside the top 20 if they had the speed that they were showing in practice. But he's gone 1 lap down.
Just part of qualifying. This track is not a quarter mile. It's a 5/8 of a mile. And if you make one small mistake on a momentum racetrack like this in these Pro Late models, that'll ruin the whole lap. Stanford leads. Plybon there in the second spot. We're taking a look at the 64 of Jan Evans. 5th place runner down into turn number 3 now.
There's a big battle headed into turn number 1. And we'll see if we can catch up with that. Hans Bieler is part of it, just so you know. There he is.
There we go. Hans Bieler in the 2. Bieler Industries number 2 machine, 32 to the inside.
Racing hard with Chase Gardner. Now these two have already swapped spots once or twice. The bumper came into place for the K9 home machine. He got moved. And why are they racing like this?
Because we're coming up to our break.
And more so because the leaders are coming up.
Oh, that too.
They are coming.
And these leaders know that just a few laps from now we'll wave the yellow flag for the competition caution.
There's your leaders.
Oh, yeah. Heating it up.
And just ahead of them, there are 2 sets of side-by-side racing contact out of turn number 4. And the 3's going into the infield. He jumps in and gets it into the wall hard.
Yellow is out a lap before our competition caution.
Almost caught it, but the car actually caught air going over the grass here. We talked about the different racetracks, and because there's banking on each of those inner tracks, there's an opportunity for a jump. As Ken Bonney taking a ride here and ending up in the K-rail. Was just trying to catch it. There was contact out of turn number 4. Tried, almost was able to get that car back underway, and it was just a little bit too much for the number 3.
Definitely not a happy camper from behind the wheel as we take a look at the replay of what all went down.
So this contact is going to take place just ahead of this, as Bonnie was on the inside of Hans Bieler.
He got air twice, man. That was
Yeah.
a long ride for him.
That was a long ride is a great way to describe it.
And this proves how fast we're going here on this 5/8. Took him pretty much half a straightaway to get it under control, and it wasn't.
So you see the first set of air right here. And then just was on the brakes but couldn't get it before that car caught the K-rail.
Hard to slow down when you're airborne. 117 laps left to go. Still plenty of laps of racing.
Watching the flagman, the field comes out of the corner, and we are back to racing.
Through the gears nicely.
Little shove there by Harvick. Oh, we got trouble over in turn number 1. The 32 goes for a spin, and the caution will fly again.
There, you see it there, the 32.
Chase Gardner with maybe some contact back there. Really was stacking up.
Phipps slow. We've seen him in and out of pits. Not sure if he was caught up in any of that, but
I don't believe there was any extra contacts. Might have been some that sent the 32 around.
Number
33.
33.
I got you.
Thank you. I had to do quick math. Back to green at Evergreen Speedway. Plavon showed his hand in the first corner before the caution came out. He's going to show his hand again and try to get to the lead.
Clean restart so far as the field makes their way through turns 3 and 4. Off of 4, they're still side by side for the lead as Plavon working that inside on Stanford. Some smoke in the back of the pack. The number 14, don't know if that's off of contact, but that thing might be putting down oil down the back straightaway right now.
He's going to peel off immediately. Battle is for second. Keelan Harvick looking to the outside.
Well, I'm going to cross my fingers that there is no fluid on this racetrack right now.
Harvick on the outside, then number 62. Morton ride. He's going to get by Plavon, who's struggling out of turn number 2.
And the car that had that smoke problem was Colton Price. He is just now getting into the front straightaway and has enough momentum to get him into the pit area.
Well, we're clean and green.
Oh, man. Kevin Harvick's using the bumper on Jacob Gomes.
Well,
into turn number 1.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah, you heard me right. Oh, look at this battle we got going on.
Keelan Harvick going for the lead.
Okay, Mr. Harvick.
Dad's shaking things up mid-pack.
Young Mr. Harvick. Yeah, we'll make sure that we have some sights on Kevin. But Keelan right now is the one making the noise.
He's not wasting any time on this restart. Plavon, he's gathered things back up, and he's looking to the outside for second.
The question you got to ask, how much experience does young Keelan Harvick have with saving tires?
Well, that was one of the things Dad touched on a lot after Kevin Harvick's current raceway victory in the early parts of the race, saying that Keelan might still need to be learning that tire save. Well, he's also learning to go for the lead. He knows that clean air is king out front.
So Plavon working the outside, that number 55. A couple cars that they're going to pass by here. Todd Connell pulling his car back into the pits with some right side damage. But the racing up front is good. Plavon might have enough to trying to get there to the outside of Stanford.
It's a squeeze down into turn number 3.
He is there.
Now Keelan's going to take the back seat and let these two duke it out.
Battle for the lead.
Let them burn up some tire against one another.
Last year's winner of the Mark Galloway Shootout puts it in P1, the number 55, Hayden Plavon.
And that goes to show how good this outside lane is here at Evergreen Speedway. It is a momentum type of a race car, and this is a perfect momentum type of a racetrack. Sweeping corners, battle for second into turn number 1. Keelan Harvick now trying the inside of Stanford. Stanford's led this race up until now, Jeffrey. Do you think tires might be an issue?
Or are they now committing to, maybe we should save a little more than we were now that everyone's packed back up? I don't know. But that's Phipps on the inside, the number 5, multiple laps down, but he's got to come back on the track. He makes it okay. And that will put our top 10, in fact, the entire field, single file for the first time since the restart that took place 9 laps ago.
The whole field trying to get around Phipps there, doing a great job of holding it down low.
Phipps is going to pull his car to the infield. You see him there off the pace once again.
So I want to see if we can get an eye on the 22. Buddy Shepard, he's running inside the top 10 because he's now starting a line that we commonly see as the race progresses on. He's starting to work that outside. And when I say outside, I mean he is 2 grooves up. Watch Buddy Shepard in the 22.
He's the white car just behind this group, and he's the highest car in the groove.
Doing that diamond, trying to arc the car nice and slowly, keep the momentum, but not burn up his stuff.
Of course, he's going to be the lowest car this time.
Yeah.
You pointed him out. He got shy.
I don't blame him.
He's right there trying to chase down Wyatt Gardner.
Buddy Shepard, 2024 SRL Southwest Tour Series champion. Wyatt Gardner in the 3 chasing down. And there you see all 3 of them in a mix down the back straightaway. Jan Evans, we touched on him moving forward. He looks to have found a comfy spot so far in this race.
23 cars on the lead lap of the 31 that started the race.
I wonder, let's see if we can get a Kevin Harvick update. He's going into turn 3 now. Oh, man, what a big slide there for Gardner. Maybe not yet.
Yeah.
As we dueling it out here into turn number 1. So Plybon continues to lead. Keelan Harvick in the 2nd spot. Stanford in 3rd so far. Single file around the racetrack. 102 laps left. As Kevin Harvick now into turn number 1. The Busch Light Pro Late model. He's got Andrew Reel there in the 69.
Yep.
Up ahead.
9th and 10th place in the field right now. Is Kevin playing the game?
I think so.
He's managing the tires. There's no 2 races to win like there was at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. But we've also seen him use the bumper earlier. Is it possible that he just saw Jacob Gomes and said, I'm going to give you a little
we're good
shove.
now.
He said, remember me.
And Harvick, for all of you seeing all the different social media pieces, he was very complimentary of Gomes. Maybe not at the moment at the racetrack, but overall knowing like Gomes is not a dirty racer of any kind. Just battle happened and everybody got excited.
Yeah, and I think that also comes with seeing the replays.
Yes.
and getting an idea of, okay, that's what happened. You can see where Gomes did bottom out his entry on the corner in a very intense battle. It's just a combination. The good news for Jacob Gomes is that he then went and won the next Pro Late Model race in the series. So was able to say, all right, monkey off the back. Let's get back to it. And we're watching Harvick working that inside line right now. Now, Reel is willing to run that higher line, defensive line for the 69?
I think so. I mean, the momentum is up top, and you want to keep advantage of that.
Just ahead of them, that 17 is Taylor Mayhew. Want to give I'm sorry. That's not Taylor Mayhew. That's the 00 of Nema Lang.
It kind of looks like it from afar, the orange and white.
Yeah. I'll give you an update on Taylor Mayhew since I brought him up. He's in 15th right now, so he's having a very conservative day. We're watching the battle here with Kevin Harvick now looking to get in the inside of Reel.
Taking a look, but can he get by?
Now, Lang in that 00 out of Linwood, Washington. That is the current local Pro Late Model point leader out here.
Yep.
You would expect this driver to have a good idea of what he's going to be doing. Also, battle here, further up.
Shepard getting by Gardner there in the number 3, going up to top 5, 5th spot for Buddy Shepard. Buddy on the run right now.
Said it was a 19-hour drive for that team.
From Bakersfield. Oh, we got some damage on the 22. As Harvick's going to get by Andrew Reel.
So that's a completion pass there. That's for the 9th spot.
Driver's side door damage for the 22 of Shepard. So while that might slow you down, it's not slowing Buddy down. I don't know if that's just a side skirt that's gone loose or maybe just a graphic that's come undone. As the field zooms by on the start-finish line shot, Buddy Shepard in that 22 car.
I think it's a side skirt.
Oh, yeah. There you can see there, just kind of flailing in the wind. He's got left front damage as well, like he turned into too early. Maybe clipped the grass. So Gardner now, he's going to get back by to the inside. Is Shepard in trouble? Look at the left front nose damage there you see in front of the left front tire. The door skirt is starting to peel back. He's now under pressure from Jace Hale in the 15. Hale, our points leader in the Spears Cars Tour West Pro Late models.
And like you said, I think the big worry there is going to be the left front damage above all else.
So this break is going to benefit him huge.
Yeah. So, Buddy Shepard, who's been looking good all day long, solid in practice, backed it up in qualifying.
Good work there for our Evergreen Speedway TV team. Catching that one.
You know, Kevin Harvick is beginning to heat up the 00. Here he is.
Looking to the inside there.
Lang going to give the space there for the 29 to do what he's doing.
And then ahead of them again is that Gardner-Shepard battle. So we've got them all battling here at the end.
Yeah, so Hale in that 15 is all over the rear bumper of the number 22. Couple updates. Nick Beecher goes one lap down after getting the free pass recently.
Bleibon continues to lead in that 55. Race Cal's ride out ahead. He's now going up to that third lane like we saw Buddy Shepard doing earlier.
We got a battle into turn number 1 between Jacob Gomes and the 78 of Haley Constant. And you want to talk about one of the drivers that can get the fans on their feet?
Yes.
Haley is that driver.
Haley is one of the crowd favorites here. There you see the battle into turn number 3. Good work, cameras. Grabbing that one. And they've got another reel behind the number 7. Zach Reel.
Yep, Haley currently sits second in the local points. 2 wins, 4 podiums, and it is getting busy in this battle.
It is dicey right here out of turn number 2.
Gomes right in the middle of that ordeal. And then you mentioned Zach Reel, driver from Oregon. Crossing the border to get on over here. The state border, that is.
State border, yeah. As long as he's got his, wait for it, real ID.
Okay. All right. We're going to have to sit you down during the break.
I'm going to need some comedy lessons. Or maybe you all are going to need them.
Looking back at Shepard here, trying to hold off the 15 of Hale.
And you see what he's doing there. It's almost like a wrestling match where you put your back against the ropes for that shot down Broadway. And that's that front straightaway. Trying to make that straightaway longer, as long as he can, without affecting too much corner speed. So he's going to arc it in, go up top to the ropes, cut down, and make this straightaway start on exit of 4.
Don't look now, but Kevin Harvick is coming.
You can see him in the background. Here comes the number 29.
So he's closing in. They're catching the 45 of Beecher. The first driver one lap down.
Constance again under pressure now from Gomes in the 16.
So Haley's like, I just got this spot from you. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
This is all a battle for 11th.
Haley, a strong runner in the Pro Late models here at Evergreen Speedway.
And the battle you're looking at here is Harvick looking to the inside of Hale.
That's Beecher a lap down in the 45. He stays wide, let them go by.
And they struggled getting by that 45. That's what kind of woed up. You can see the gap now. Shepard back to Hale. Harvick took advantage of it. And that 29 looking to gain another position.
Oh, man, did I get tied out of 4.
Do you think Harvick's going to be like, you know what, Jace Hale, you were part of that wreck too. You might have been behind it when it happened, but bumper time. Hale going to give up that position, and that will move that number 29 up to the 7th position, as we are just 9 laps away from the halfway break.
And you got to wonder if this is one of those Kevin Harvick, the closer type racetracks. He's just kind of comfortably been mid-pack. Now he's slowly working up, making some noise. As Stanford now under pressure from Jan Evans out of turn number 4.
Evans has not lit up on that moving forward mentality. Trying to get by the number 19. This is a battle for 3rd. Keelan Harvick sits just ahead in the 2nd position. But these drivers are over 2 seconds back from Hayden Plybon, who's right now getting himself into some lap traffic. Mike Beeler trying to hold him off. We'll see if he's able to as we watch the battle for 3rd.
Good battle here. Nice and tight out of turn number 4. Slowly closing in on our halfway break. 81 laps to go. Break will happen at 75. Or if a caution comes naturally around that. Keelan Harvick. He's going to be the next one that Stanford and Evans close up 2. As Gardner in the 3 in the shadows off in the distance. But Stanford, I feel like he's been under pressure most of this race, whether it's for the lead or now battling for 3rd.
Just ahead of this group, there's some side-by-side racing with the number 6 and the K9, and those two are right now battling for the free pass. So we'll be seeing them shortly. So Beeler went a lap down home, and they're leaning on each other into turn number 1 right now.
They made it work. They're safe.
They made it work.
This track is a big track.
Yeah.
And at times, even though it's wide, it's still narrow. Especially when you're battling for the wave or the free pass.
And I'm just going to update you on a couple other drivers. Hans Beeler right now working on his drifting.
That's not a surprise.
He's ready to replace those 2 right side tires. An opportunity that'll be there in just 3 laps.
Plybon closing in on the Rebel Rouser. Robbie Sawyer, who's off the pace now, up high.
So Sawyer going to let the 55 go. And like you said, to that 7, Beeler in front of your leader. The number 2 just caught the wall. That's our drifter, Hans Beeler.
So here's your lead, the 55, Plybon. The next car he's going to close in on is the 2 that you just referenced, tagging the wall into 1 and 2. We're all safe for now, as long as Beeler and the rest of the teams keep it under control.
So, yeah, you mentioned Sawyer. He is falling back. He's fallen out of the free pass position. Mike Beeler is the one who sits there. He is hoping that this break happens soon, and it's gonna. We are just about a lap away from when we should see the flag fly to indicate halfway.
Mike Beeler is the free pass driver. Hans Beeler, his son, is the next car to go a lap down.
And that 2 car that we're seeing just ahead of your leader, he just caught the wall not long ago. So
Hans, the son of Mike Beeler, 3 father-son combinations here this weekend.
Watching the flagman, we are on lap 75. And as the field comes out, turn number 4, the leader will see the yellow.
Caution waves here for the halfway break. All right, well, the first half is complete. The second half is about to go green. 75 laps to go in the Mark Galloway Shootout at Evergreen Speedway.
Bit of a stack up there mid-pack as the field makes their way into turn number 1. Hans Beeler got the bumper down the back straightaway. We'll see if he returns it. But it's Hayden Plybon to the lead and clear of Keelin Harvick as the rest of the field comes roaring out of turn number 4.
What did you see? Did you see some contact?
I saw the 32's in the wall on turn number 2 right now. And he's wrecked and spun out and all sorts of stuff. He just got notified.
He was put on blast.
He got put on blast by some of the regulars in the series. I mentioned that there was some contact just a lap ago. That was between Hans Bieler in the number 2 and the 32 of Chase Gardner. Gardner currently sits there in the grass. So you asked yourself, you might even assume, so it was Hans Bieler who got the final blow in there, did he? Actually. But once again, Plybon and Stanford filling the front row as we restart with 74 laps to go. Trouble front straightaway.
Haley Constance in the number 78 and Taylor Mayhew in the number 17. What were you just talking about, restarts?
Something about that there could be trouble on restarts. I don't really remember, but yeah, this is why I brought it up. We saw a kind of a hairy restart, and as we get past the break, you're going to see people pushing it harder, and we heard people talking about attrition. Haven't seen a lot of wrecks in this race, but we're in the second half of it now. So real shame there for Haley and Taylor, the 78 and the 17.
For the Spears Cars Tour West Pro Late Models, we are going back to green out of turn number 4.
Better.
Plybon with a nose out. And now Keelan Harvick with a fight back to the inside. Battle for the lead out of turn number 2.
And the momentum is on the 62 side. The fans responding to Keelan Harvick trying to complete the pass out of turn number 4.
He's going to clear him. New leader, Keelan Harvick.
And the fans are on their feet.
Stanford there in the 3rd spot. He's been, big slide, but no contact. For Wannett there in the 12.
Yeah, got out of the groove. Did a nice job recovering. Plybon looking back to the outside. He's just going to get there. Door shut by Keelan Harvick.
Hayden Plybon does not want to be in 2nd spot for much longer than he is now.
Chase Gardner just hit Robbie Sawyer, and Robbie Sawyer's wrecking down the back straightaway, and he saved it.
He went back to his roots there a little bit.
Just a reminder, those were the two that got together about 3 yellows ago, and they might do it again. So the 7 and 32 in the back of the pack, I'm keeping an eye on them because I don't think that these guys are done.
You're visually taking an eye.
Messing with each other. I'm gonna just update you with whatever happens there.
Plybon.
Battle for the lead. Yep. Plybon right up against that bumper.
Plybon is looking for the lead again. Stanford there in 3rd spot. He's going to let these two play it out, but he's also got Jan Evans in tow.
I think we're safe for now with what was going on in the back of the pack. By the way, they've separated each other, maybe through the request of the officials.
Yeah.
Guys, chill.
Yep. 80 laps in, 70 laps to go.
So Plybon's running a slightly higher line than Keelan Harvick. Harvick using the paint on entry of the corners. Plybon willing to go up a whole nother row or lane. And he is all over the rear bumper of that number 62. Stanford just behind with Evans in 4th.
And you can see that Plybon using that big momentum on his side when he goes up the track like that, making these straightaways longer, keeping that momentum going. Battle here out of turn number 2. Vito Cancilla in the Impact V5. Andrew Reel in the 69 right there in front of him.
Yep, battle for 10th. Cancilla on the inside. And a battle into turn number 1. That's Harvick. Kevin Harvick, that is. Getting past the number 3 of Gardner.
Kevin got by Buddy Shepard there in that 22S machine.
And Shepard's going to try and follow through.
Yep. And now going by the 3 of Gardner.
And now Jace Hill. Don't count him out. He's going to try to establish position to the inside of White Gardner. Gardner was the one that we heard about, the car that had to fix some suspension during the break, and Hill not able to complete the pass. By the way, don't look now, but Jacob Gomes is lurking just behind this group. And, you know, you can pick up things over the years covering Jacob Gomes. Like when he's asked, do you think he could get back over the front? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, just a cool California kid with his cool race cars. I was having dinner with him last night. Evergreen Speedway staff provided a racing dinner after Friday practice, and I had Gomes sit next to me, and we were just chatting it up, and he said this is a tire track as much as what we've heard all weekend, but he's also like, I've never been here before. I don't know what to expect, and I'm just going to take the laps to learn. So there's Gomes there, the 16, chasing down his pseudo teammate, the 15, who he's the teacher of, Jace Hale. Jace off to a great start here in a 2025 Pro Late Model season for the Spears Cars Tour West. 2 wins, points leader, and so far having a great points day as well.
So there's Shepard just behind Kevin Harvick. Harvick in 5th. So he's slowly climbed his way into that top 5. Keelan Harvick leading the race over Plybon, and you wonder, is Shepard willing? Well, might get my answer here. I was going to say, is Shepard going to be willing to follow Harvick for the time being?
Shepard again, a driver, if you're just tuning in now, driver who had some damage but was running up front most of the first half. Running inside the top 10, had some damage. The team needed to repair that 22S, and they have done so. And it's starting to climb back forward again, looking for a battle for 5th. Harvick's got the 5th spot. Kevin Harvick in the 29 has 5th. Shepard wants it in that 22S machine.
And the team did a nice job, by the way, repairing that left front fender. There you see the battle for the lead. Keelan Harvick leads over Plybon. And one car maybe off the pace. It is Mike Beeler pulling it into the infield.
Very cool of the Beelers to join up here. And an interesting note for our Cars Tour West regular competitors, a lot of them that have traveled up north here to Evergreen Speedway, the series has a race drop rule. So these drivers didn't need to come up here to Evergreen Speedway from California or wherever they're from, but it's true. They want to be here.
And you know, if you are a competitor, you don't want to use a drop as there's contact at a. Sorry, I'm watching a few drivers rub each other up. We might have a yellow soon. Is what I'm trying to say. There's a few groups that I'll kind of point out if production wants to check them out. One of them, actually, both of them are kind of headed through turns 3 and 4 right now. The 2, the 32, and the 7. And like I said, we might get updates from those guys. Here they come right now. You see the side-by-side action into turn number 1. That was the 2 and the 32. So I'll keep tabs on those. This has been a good battle as well. Real and Kinsella. These drivers right now currently sitting 10th and 11th. And Vito's made a couple attempts in that V5 to try to get to the inside of the number 69, but just has not been able to complete the pass. And after a few tries, you're probably going to start losing some patience.
Yeah, that's probably when the bumper's going to start being applied.
You don't need a lot of bumper here.
No.
So there, Vito again, trying that inside line. One of the younger drivers in the field. Mentioned Andrew Reel there in the number 69. Kind of still working that defensive, slightly higher line that we've seen throughout the day. You talked about the Chili Willy early at the end of the year.
Yep.
Andrew finishing 3rd in that event.
In this Pro Late Model, that is a Super Late Model Chili Willy 150 event. So he traveled over to Tucson, Arizona, and put it in 3rd spot in a underperforming race car.
So if you have a Pro Late,
yeah,
maybe come on down to the Chili Willy.
Yeah, you never know how that race can go sometimes. Always a fun one out of Tucson Speedway in January.
All right. Well, here's the deal, Tommy, is we know with the racing that we've got going on here that there's always an opportunity for some yellows. There's been a couple wild moments that we've seen even recently. You got this battle. You got there. You have your leaders there, Keelin Harvick, and this gap right now, about 0.6 of a second. Okay, looking at the last lap times, the driver who is doing the fastest laps is your leader, Keelin Harvick. That's
potentially good news for Plybon.
And I was going to say, I still don't think people are showing their full hand yet.
Yeah, that could be true.
So if that's the case, like this battle continues on, we're not letting this battle go, and I'm loving it. Vito Cancilla, Andrew Reel.
Reel down the backstretch into turn number 3. Cancilla down to the white stripe. Battle out of turn number 4. And it is now Reel and Cancilla going up to that third lane, a third groove. Keeping that momentum up. The field relatively single file from all around the racetrack. This is the battle. Out of turn number 4 now. And now Cancilla going to the inside, trying to get a run down low, but he's going to bottom out big time. Right in the center of 1 and 2. He's going to slide up and have to catch it.
Oh, speaking of sliding, do you remember the names Robbie Sawyer and Hans Bieler?
Yeah.
They just slid into each other.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm just saying that they share the wealth. They might have ganged up earlier on one car. Now they're ganging up on each other.
Battle brewing into turn number 3. Jan Evans now under pressure from Kevin Harvick.
Oh, Kevin Harvick.
Battle for 4th.
Oh, the closer.
This could be another closer type race.
And your leaders are going to deal with some lap traffic. So even though these two are going to be battling here, as Jan Evans slides a little bit wide, opens the door there for Harvick to at least peek and get to the inside. It looks like he's going to make quick work of this pass. Remember, we did see Evans making those early moves.
Yep. How much did that wear out the left sides? Because I don't feel like I feel like Jan has been pretty calm and clean and quiet on the second half. So
yeah. This is the group I'm glad we're watching right now. Your leaders are right in the middle of this, but remember, I just told you that Sawyer and Bieler had contact just a minute ago.
I see the door flapping on the 2.
There's been a lot
of
contact. So that's Harvick working his way by, and that'll put, and now just to add to it, now the 7 and 2 are going to be racing for the free pass, and they're not happy, and there goes Bieler around, and that is going to bring out the caution here on lap 105. I'm just saying.
You called it. Like you've seen races before.
1 or 2.
If they're looking, stomp the door shut. Back to green here at Evergreen Speedway. Plybon with a great restart. But Keelan Harvick, can he get that outside?
Looks like one car maybe with a flat tire. Jace Hell in the middle of the field. Car was sparking into turn number 1. He's off the pace.
Your point leader, that could be implications later on this season as we have a huge field of cars here tonight. Plybon leads. Keelan Harvick second. Kevin Harvick in third.
I'm hearing the Jaws music starting to play. Hell has made it into the infield. See there. Something's sparking on that car.
Could be a broken right front.
Yeah,
suspension.
it's not I do not see a tire down on that car, so that's going to be even worse for the 15.
So into turns number 1 and 2, Kevin Harvick in the third spot, trying to chase down son Keelan Harvick. He's got to get by the 62 to get a chance at the 55 of Hayden Plybon, your leader.
But look who's following Harvick through the field.
A previous leader in this race?
Yeah. Keelan Harvick way down low. Plybon still staying committed to that higher line. Don't look now, Keelan, but in your mirror is Pops.
Big Daddy. on the move here. He's taking a whole race to get going forward to the front.
That's called tire conserving.
That's right. And you can see those different lines being run right now. Plybon going up to that second and a half lane. Keelan somewhere in the middle, and Kevin Harvick right there on the white stripe. Speed shot. There they go.
The team went to work quick, and Jace Hale back on track. The number 15, like you said, our points leader coming into this weekend. I'll update you as far as how many laps down.
So Hale now needs all the regular drivers.
2 laps down.
He needs all the regular drivers to just start having mechanical issues.
He's going to need 4 yellows to get back on the lead lap as a free pass car. So
that too, yeah.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, the race for the top spot.
Here we go, down into turn number 3. You can see where Plybon keeps that momentum going on the straightaways. Looks like Kevin Harvick there in the 3rd spot, starting to back up towards the 19 of Stanford. Still 38 laps to go in this race. Battle brewing for the lead out of turn number 2.
Plybon in that 55 has been, I think, was one of the drivers where we said, look, he's willing to push it here. Is that going to hurt him at the end of the race? But so far, that 55 is looking like he just might be able to keep the cars behind him. Despite the pressure, he's got enough of that defense built into the car, and that might be all he needs for the final laps of this race. 112 laps in, there are just 37 laps to go as it clicks over.
You wonder if Stanford has anything left in the tank for a run to the top 3 here tonight. Down the front straightaway into turn number 1.
Vito Kinsella trying to get to the inside of Wyatt Gardner. Gardner, who had that issue just at break time, where he had suspension problems. That car's slowly been falling through the field. That whole battle right there is for 7th, 8th, and 9th place. And, Wyatt hasn't really had the speed that we saw earlier in the day. Although, he's now all over that number 16 of Jacob Gomes.
He's showing up. Gardner there, remember, had a breakage that they had to replace on the pit brake. So likely something still not 100%, but able to hang on. It's currently in front of Cancilla in the V5 there.
Saldus Racing taking place inside of the top 10.
Single file all around the racetrack. This is the nearest battle on each other for position.
Yeah, just behind them, there's a tight battle actually going on with the 7 and the 12. So Zach Reel and you got Donnie Wannett. And they are close out of turn number 4. They're leaning on each other.
Coming out of 4 there, Wannett made a move to the inside of Reel. They go into 1.
This racing you see here.
There's Andrew Reel, by the way.
Gardner's been working his way through. That 32, remember, had his issues.
Harvick and Stanford still dueling it out for the 3rd spot. Stanford looking, but Harvick with that momentum running on the outside. So your 3rd spot battle here into turn number 3. Plybon and Keelan Harvick have a big gap now. We're talking about nearing a second between the top 2 here. Good 10 car length gap between 1st and 2nd. About 8 to 10 for 2nd to 3rd, and this is the battle for 3rd.
So Thomas Stanford, fastest in qualifying. He is looking like he's got some speed here at the end of this race. 30 laps left, make that 29 laps to go as the laps are clicking away. Multiple battles still around this track. No guarantee that this one's going to make it all the way to the end.
That is true.
But what I'm starting to feel good about is Hayden Plybon.
Yes.
That 55 is now pulling away lap by lap. He's over a second lead over Keelin Harvick. And here comes Stanford to the inside of Kevin.
You think Kevin's 29 is starting to fade a little bit? You think Stanford saved a little bit more?
I'm feeling good about that second scenario there. Stanford is looking good. The problem is you commit to trying to make the pass, and if you can't complete it, we've seen the amount of time you lose.
Yes.
Stanford right here, he was to the inside of Harvick as they work their way into turn number 3. He's got to make up 2 car lengths. Gets back to the inside. At some point, you're really going to have to get aggressive. But again, if anybody knows that, it's probably the driver who's won this race before.
Yeah.
Back in 2023. He was the Apple Cup champion this year at Tri-City. I mean, that number 19.
Fast time qualifier today.
He brings it.
Very true.
All right, Beecher in the 45 has gone 1 lap down.
Beecher earlier this race went a lap down. Got the free pass. Unfortunately, going to go another lap down.
Yep, so that puts him 2 laps down. Just 25 laps left in this one.
No updates up front. Here's the best battle on the track, and that is the battle for third. Stanford in the 19 still trying to chase down Kevin Harvick for the third spot. As out of 4, Hayden Plybon down the front straightaway, flying by the start finish
and I think
line
this
now.
is one of Stanford's better opportunities.
Yep.
Sparking it into turn number 1.
Leaders are approaching traffic.
It's all about that exit right there. And for once there, Stanford was able to hang right with Harvick. Throws it in again.
Looking for momentum out of turn number 4. Harvick with that outside line is going to keep it from him.
And a small update, they are side by side in front of Hayden Plybon right now with lap traffic.
And this is allowing Keelan Harvick to close in slowly. But still.
The last couple of laps, to your point, advantage has been Keelan Harvick. But once they get clear of the traffic, is it going to stay that way?
Yep. Time is ticking here. 21 laps to go. Hayden Plybon's trying to put cars between himself and second place runner Keelan Harvick. And the battle for third has calmed down as the number 19 of Stanford gets by Kevin Harvick.
And Stanford's driving away.
Yeah.
In a hurry.
Stanford, though, now approaching the same lap traffic that the leaders were just in. 20 laps to go here.
Do not count out that number 19.
You think he's going to need a caution, though?
I do think so, but I'm watching lap times. Plybon still right now, for the most part, putting down the fastest lap times of the field. But I'll be curious. There's something about that 19 that's making me think.
Yeah. Yep.
He might have more in there. Plybon putting a couple more cars 1 lap down, some 2 laps down. Beeler goes a 2nd lap down. Hans Beeler goes 1. Jace Hale goes a 3rd lap down. To your leaders are stacking up down the back straight.
There's all kinds of stuff going on, yeah.
Keelan Harvick just got by all of that. And that's part of the game. In fact, hello, Keelan Harvick.
Keelan's closing in. The little closer.
I mean, that's a lot of a little closer right there. He made up a lot of time on the 55 getting through that lap traffic. The 62 of Keelan Harvick is reeling them in. Trouble for Vito Cancilla on the front straightaway. The car is off the pace. and makes it into the infield.
Tough break for one of our regulars here in the Spears Cars Tour West, presented by Hoosier Tire. And here is your top two on screen, down the backstretch into turn number 3.
It was the amount of time that Plybon lost there. I don't know if he had a big bobble at the wrong part of the track, but Keelin Harvick is now applying the pressure as they cross the line that time. The difference between lap times is 0.05 of a second. Unfortunately for Keelan, you won't catch him with just that little bit in 15 laps. But the reality that we have here is Plybon can't make a mistake.
Right, and they're closing in on more lap traffic.
And this is one of the faster cars we've talked about throughout the day, Name a Lang. The double zero is kind of fallen off here in the latter parts of this race. Still sitting in the 14th position. And Plybon looking to the inside to try and lap the double zero. Will do with ease. Harvick going to try and follow through as well. And looking for that exit off of the corner.
Name Lang, father of Tyson Lang, our third father-son duo this weekend.
Well, fastest car that time, Stanford. He doesn't have the time to do it either, I think. I think that it would require a yellow for him to be able to get there.
But maybe if these two leaders can start mixing it up, that would help him.
I'll tell you who's been mixing it up. I don't know if we're going to get a shot of them, but there's two drivers that have been side by side since we went green earlier, and that's the number 12, Awanit. I see you pointing, and you're pointing at the right battle there.
You want it, and now he needs it. Looking to the inside.
So these two have been battling like forever. When I talked about, we might have a yellow at some point, it was in regards to these guys 30 laps ago.
Yeah.
But they've had a great race, keeping it very clean and, giving each other some respectful room. I'm laughing because I saw Mike Beeler run Hans Beeler out of the groove, and I just laughed because I'm like, it runs in the family.
And that is another father-son duo.
They race each other hard.
Yep.
And that's one of the fun factors of so many of the drivers in this series, including the Beeler family. They put it out on the track and on the line, and as spectators, as fans of racing, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
So, love to see it. Plybon is once again opening up that gap.
10 laps to go here at Evergreen Speedway. Keelan Harvick, if he was using everything he had, he used it likely. Plybon is now starting to sail away, it seems, on the 55. And looking to become a two-time winner of the Mark Galloway Shootout.
And like we said, it wouldn't just be a two-time winner. He would be the first ever to be a back-to-back winner of this race.
Regular Vito Cancilla now returning to the racetrack, multiple laps down.
Yeah, that V5. 8 laps down for Cancilla. So he's going to be finishing deep in the field. All right. We're there. We're inside of 10 laps to go. If you have it, use it.
Yeah, I think you're 100%, maybe a little bit more at this point. The Harvick Cup battle all season long in 2025. If you're a Kevin Harvick fan, you might need to start worrying because it looks like Keelan's going to get 2 atop of Kevin early on into the Harvick Cup championship year. That's a personal family battle between the Harvicks. Keelan picked up the win at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. Kevin was showing some speed, but unfortunately that car has plateaued in the 4th spot.
5 laps to go for Hayden Plybon. And that number 55 has opened up a lead of 1.4 seconds over Keelan Harvick, who might be dealing with Stanford soon. Might be 1 or 2 lapped cars left for Plybon to get around. Just looking, scanning the field. Couple battles still sorting themselves out, but nothing that that looks like it's on the verge of a yellow. And Plybon wants to see this one go all the way to the green. Or should I say green all the way to the checkered?
There you go.
Yeah, he wants to see it all the way to the start of the race. Plybon right now reeling in Dawson Cox in that 7D. No McChicken sandwich.
No.
For Dawson. But maybe he could get one after the race. That is our 13th place car.
Been on a good green flag run here in the latter parts of this race with 2 laps to go for Hayden Plybon. And it's all being used there for the 55. And he is stretching out over Keelin Harvick, who's now going to possibly get into a battle with 19 of Stanford.
He comes out of turn number 4 and sees the white flag. 1 lap to go for the 55 of Hayden Plybon. Put on a master class of pushing it, but also conservation, kept the tires under him, but was willing to go early and get the track position. It's all going to pay off. As he comes out of turn number 4, he will win the Mark Galloway Shootout, the Spears Car Store West 150 presented by Tire Pros. And he is the first ever back-to-back winner of the event.